This is RTV6 News at 7, working for you.
A round of wicked weather already swept through parts of central Indiana, leaving behind some scattered wind damage. The question now, will there be more of the same tonight? Good evening to you here at 7 o'clock. I'm Mark Mullins coming to you from my temporary home studio.
And I'm Amanda Starrentino. Let's get right to Kevin Gregory for a look at the night ahead. Kevin.
And the good news is severe weather threat has ended. There's the peak wind gust in Bloomington. This is not storm related. It's just the very windy conditions. The wind damage came from 60 to 70 mile per hour winds in some of those severe storms. It will stay windy through sunset. About 9:30, we'll start to tone down the wind just a bit. You can feel the humidity already falling, and the thunderstorms, that long line of fast-moving thunderstorms already into basically central Ohio and moving away from central Indiana. The wind, 46 mile per hour gust here at the top of the hour, one of the windiest spots right in central Indiana, and the beautiful sky as you look to the west. Temperatures all in the 70s now. You'll wake up to temperatures tomorrow morning in the low 60s with a low humidity.
Well, tonight, as protesters gather downtown, we're learning new information about the shooting last month of Dre John Reed. RTV6's Cameron Riddle is live with new developments tonight. Cameron.
Hey, Mark, good evening. We're walking down Mass Ave tonight. This is day 13 of protests throughout downtown Indianapolis. Today is slightly a celebration as protesters say they have a small victory in the names of the officers being released in the Dre John Reed case. As you hear them right now, they are chanting, "What do we want? Justice? We want it right now." This is all because of that shooting that happened at 62nd and Michigan Road back on May 6th with Dre John Reed. Protesters since then have been asking for more transparency, including that the officers be fired and that the officers be identified. And now for the first time tonight, IMPD has identified those officers. The officer who fired his weapon at Dre John has been identified as DeJour Carter, Officer DeJour Carter. He has been on the force for 4 years since 2017 and has no marks of disciplinary action on his record. What we have found out, though, is that back on April 29th, just 1 week before he was the shooting, excuse me, we're trying to get through the crowd here. But just 1 week before that shooting, Officer Mercer was named Northwest District Officer of the Year. DeJour Mercer is that officer. The other officer who folks want to know about is the officer who made those derogatory comments saying that there would be a closed casket following seeing Dre John laying on the ground. That officer has been named as Stephen Scott, a 15-year veteran of IMPD. And so far, that has caused an avalanche of news this afternoon, including the Madison County prosecutor to come out and say that the case needs to be given away from IMPD. Those officers need to step back, and it now needs to be handed over to the Indiana State Police. That has now led to another development with Fatima Johnson. She is the attorney for Dre John Reed's mother. She has now released a statement to us just in the past 10 minutes saying it is the officer's experience, Officer Mercer's experience of 4 years that led to this. She says he did not have enough training and in turn was trying to impress his boss. She also says the special prosecutor is moving in the right direction with getting this case from under the hands of IMPD and over to state police, but she says it needs to go even further to either federal investigators or a clear, totally independent investigation. Much more on this as protesters make their way up Mass Ave tonight. Reporting live, I'm Cameron Riddle, RTV6.
You want to hear that kid's pain and you want to ask them, do you have a plan? From your pain that you're feeling, what do you want to express?
Tensions are high right now regarding racial inequality, plus the stress of COVID-19. Community organizations want families to know they are sticking to their missions of improving lives. RTV6's Stephanie Wade spoke with one group on how they're reaching out to young people who may be struggling now.
In such uncertain times, added stressors for many of us, kids and teenagers, might be lacking a support system or direction in life. As the number of homicides and violence continue to rise in our city, it makes groups like City Life that much more important.
People did lose jobs. Mothers, fathers had to move from houses they had been in for years What does that look like? That's catastrophic. That's hurting. Who will pour into them? Who will speak into their life?
The City Life Far East Side director says throughout the past few months, their goal has remained the same. Meet kids and families where they are and lend an ear for someone to listen.
The one thing you don't want to do is try to suppress and bottle up something that needs to get out. Express your heart. Let them see your tears. Let them know that as an African-American man, as an African-American young girl, I feel different when lights come on behind me. And it's not fair. It's unreal.
The challenge before, and perhaps even more so now, is giving kids hope, showing them a better way to move through life and helping them get there.
There are housing needs, there are job needs, there is educational needs, there is just navigating brokenness, trauma, and emotion that they have had to deal with before and continue to deal with now.
These kids are suppressed and they're angry and they're upset and they got these rifles that you're like, how did you even get your hands on that? You know, where did you pick it up from? And it's sad to say that we have to invade that world and say, hey, I'm willing to take that from you and get rid of it. But in order to take something from someone, you have to have something to replace it with.
They teach their families and students to not let circumstances define you. They say the key to that is reconciliation.
Within their own hearts, within their family dynamics, within their community, within the legacy that they want to have for their children.
I love the fact that now I believe it's affecting the entire humanity race. Now everybody are coming out of their worlds and merging together. And they're saying, how can we help? First thing, you have to listen and learn what it is to be this child and then learn what it is to be this child.
Stephanie Wade, RTV6.
Well, to learn more about their services, we will attach a link at our website at theindychannel.com.
Now to the latest on COVID-19 and the impact in the Hoosier State. The State Health Department today reported 15 new deaths. That brings the total in the state to 2,173. More than 38,000 people have been diagnosed with the virus, and more than 320,000 people have been tested in Indiana, with 12% testing positive. The state of Indiana will move into stage 4 of reopening this Friday, 2 days earlier than anticipated. Governor Holcomb says all 92 counties can move into the next stage of reopening, but any counties that want to have more restrictions can do that. In stage 4, social gatherings of up to 250 people are allowed. Restaurant dining rooms can open to 75% capacity. Bars and nightclubs can open to 50% capacity. Retail stores and malls can open to full capacity. Mayor Hogsett has not reopened Indianapolis as quickly as the rest of the state, and our stages are about 2 weeks behind. The mayor plans to provide an update on restrictions and guidelines tomorrow afternoon. And caught on camera, the mailman running for his life and the damage caused as he found a safe place to land, while the vehicle owner had to call police and RTV6 for help.
Home experts at theindychannel.com. This is RTV6 News at 7, working for you.
Well, no one should have to deal with this. A wild moment for a mailman just trying to do his job. Dogs not on a leash went on the attack on the southeast side of Indianapolis, and the postal employee did what he had to do. He jumped on the first thing to keep him safe. As RTV6's Rafael Sanchez reports, the mailman was not bit, but the truck sustained some damage, and the Postal Service decided it was not responsible for the repairs.
Marcus French showed us his truck back in March. The coronavirus had not peaked, though this story piqued our interest since he was still at odds with the Postal Service and he had video proof.
I'm glad that he was safe and he didn't get bit and he was able to get away from danger. And I did ask him, first thing I said when I came out of the house, are you okay? Did you get bit? And he was like, yeah, I'm fine, as he was so shook up.
This happened back on September the 9th. When the mailman jumped on his truck, he accidentally left behind several scratches and scuffs on the two-tone custom paint job. Marcus reached out to the Postal Service in hopes of paying for the repairs, totaling more than $4,400. After all, as you can see, he had video proof of the situation. In February, the Postal Service denied his request, blaming the neighbor for being in violation of the city's leash ordinance. At the same time, they also expressed regret for any damages that may have occurred.
Never experienced anything like this in my life.
In April, the Postal Service Indianapolis office confirmed to RTV6 that Marcus had filed a tort claim, saying that he was fully informed of his legal rights. In May, Marcus's insurance company pulled through and paid for his repairs. A few weeks ago, he picked up his vehicle, back in mint condition. Working for you, Rafael Sanchez, RTV6.
Well, Marcus is thankful for the outcome. He was surprised that even with video evidence, it took so long to resolve. By the way, keep your dogs on a leash. Vicious animals can impact your mail service. Still ahead here, people are looking for ways to give back during these troubled times. Up next, how recent events have sparked a renewed interest in mentoring.
A pattern change is underway, and this is one of the impacts. A nice dry stretch coming up. The other impacts we'll talk about shortly.
Windows.com today.
It seems the push for progression is pouring over into programs that specialize in helping youth. Troy Washington is working for you to explain how movement towards change has encouraged more interest in mentoring.
For mentors like Aaron Green, shaping the next generation is just second nature.
You can't do this work and look at it as a job. You know what I mean? It's a big brother because at any moment, I don't care if I'm in church, I will leave church and go to them and assist them like a big brother would.
Raised on the far east side of Indianapolis, he wasn't dealt the easiest hand.
Single parent home, my dad, well-known drug dealer in the city, went to prison. I grew up a statistic.
But he's played the hand he was dealt well, and that never stopped him from showing young people that none of that determines where they end up in life. In fact, right now, the organization he works for, Voices, is seeing more people take interest in mentoring.
It doesn't take a lot of time to be a mentor. All you have to do is be caring and consistent. And so we do want people to get involved, whether that's through volunteering with Voices or mentoring with other groups, such as like Bloom Project, Leading Ladies, Inner Beauty, and a New Boy. Because if you're a part of a kid's life, you now have a responsibility to hold that young person accountable, but that young person now has somebody to guide them and depend on.
The COVID-19 pandemic might have closed most places for some time and pushed everyone to social distance.
They love for us to be in their face. They don't like the whole call me. They want you to pull up, hug them, push them around, be rough with them. Just have fun. And so it's been hard during this time.
Which creates some challenges when it comes to mentoring. But the Black Lives Matter movement seems to be pulling people towards giving back and being a part of the change they want to see. Working for you, Troy Washington, RTV6.
And we reached out to Big Brothers Big Sisters to see if they are noticing an increased interest in mentoring due to all that is going on. You can read their response when you check out this story on the IndyChannel.com.
Human trials of a COVID-19 vaccine are expected to start next month. That's months earlier than Johnson & Johnson had predicted. The company says the trials will start in the second half of July. The trials will take place in the U.S. and Belgium, testing the safety and immune responses in more than 1,000 healthy adults ages 18 to 55, as well as those 65 and older. Johnson & Johnson was initially on track to begin the trials in September, but has accelerated the testing. The company says it will supply more than 1 billion doses of its COVID-19 vaccine globally through 2021 if it is deemed safe and effective. If you go out to eat or go to a store, chances are you'll see employees sanitizing things like tables, carts, and handles.
But doctors warn the sanitizers can cause burns and reactions for certain people. Alexa Liacco is asking the experts how to stay safe.
Constant cleaning is a part of daily life in the age of COVID-19, but experts warn the safety measures businesses are taking aren't always family-friendly.
Depending on the strength of a lot of these disinfectants, they can cause damage to the skin. They can react like a burn would be, present as a significant redness or swelling to the skin.
One Florida family believes their baby got a chemical burn after sitting in a Walmart cart sprayed with disinfectant. Emergency department doctor Frederick Davis says alcohol alcohol, bleach, and ammonia, often used in commercial sanitizers, can lead to that reaction.
A lot of these cases, unfortunately, have happened because people thought because they're disinfectants and they kill bacteria and viruses that it is safe to apply to the skin, which it definitely isn't.
Environmental biology professor at the University of Arizona, Dr. Charles Gerba, says commercial disinfectant can be harmful to skin until it dries completely.
You don't want to put the kid down as a child in the seat if it's wet.
Experts say you should dry carts or any surface covered in disinfectant before letting kids touch them. But they caution disinfectants may not work properly if not allowed to dry on their own. So to keep kids safe and kill the germs, Dr. Gerba recommends placing a towel down in the cart or using a baby wipe to remove harsh chemicals that can build up over time.
That's one of my concerns, continually adding chemical disinfectants on over and over again every day. I think they're subject to maybe misuse, not drying enough, and so you might get some exposure.
Because of these dangers, Dr. Gerba is experimenting with a replacement for commercial-grade sanitizers. It's a spray coating that sticks to any surface, even touch screens, and kills bacteria and viruses for months at a time.
It's the principle of the older year socks. Basically, the reason the socks didn't smell is because it killed the bacteria that caused the odors.
By this coating going down, continuing to eliminate this threat, it really does get ahead of the problem. It's proactive instead of reactive.
This new technology is still getting approved by the EPA, but studies show it can fight the coronavirus.
It killed the coronavirus very well, like 99.9% or more, sometimes within a few minutes.
He hopes this experiment will make mass transit, schools, and workplaces safer.
It's very difficult to disinfect and clean after every group of people use those facilities.
And that's the goal, is to get people back feeling comfortable with the environment.
I'm Alexa Liacco reporting.
7:20 on what is now a dry evening. The thunderstorms that were intense earlier in the day have moved on. We could have a couple of sprinkles as we've had more clouds return. Here are some of the storm reports, and most of them from Tipton to Kokomo, and then between Kokomo and Marion onto the northeast. Here's an example of some of the wind damage. This just west of Marion and Sweetser. Large tree down on the porch of a home. 72 in Lafayette, 74 in Terre Haute. Temperatures in the eastern portion of the state cooling off as well. The coolest air sits to our west. We'll feel that in the next 24 hours, where temperatures just stay in the 70s for highs. The wind will calm down tonight, but even calming down keeps our wind rather strong, gusting over 20 through the overnight hours. During the day tomorrow, 61 first thing in the morning. The biggest change tomorrow, the humidity level is down all day long, close to the mid-70s at noon, and lots of sunshine. 79 for the afternoon high. Last several days, you don't need me to tell you this, humidity has been oppressive. Top of the scale. We're going to the other end of the scale as far as our humidity is concerned over the next several days. Lots of sunshine. Temperatures stay in the 70s tomorrow. We'll have a warm-up after tomorrow. It's all about a northwest wind bringing in the drier air through the day Thursday. Friday's temperatures in the 80s, but an additional cold front will arrive Friday night. Won't generate any showers or thunderstorms, but it will deliver cooler temperatures for the weekend. Temperatures in the 70s for highs, 50s for lows. Sunday morning will be around 54 in the metro area. Cooler outlying areas. Enjoy that stretch because it does warm up again. Tuesday, 84. Wednesday of next week, 87 degrees. We'll be back with more news right after this.
You have to leave your house.
WRTV is teaming up with Kroger and Second Helpings to get meals into the hands of those who are struggling to put food on the table during the pandemic. From June 15th to June 21st, whenever you shop at select Central Indiana Kroger stores, you can round up your grocery bill or select a donation amount of your choice when you check out. The proceeds will go directly to Second Helpings. Working together, WRTV and Scripps Howard Foundation will match up to $12,000 in donations. You can find out more at your Kroger store or donate online at secondhelpings.org.
Thanks for making RTV6 your choice for news. We'll see you at 11.